welcome back to the STPL. My name is Kix, joining me is Rapid, and we're here for our second series of today. It's going to be BT versus SouL.
That's right. This should be maybe a little bit more, excuse me, one-sided at least on paper, because SouL is one of the best teams in STPL, and BT have traditionally struggled a lot. So
yeah,
it is a new round, so maybe anything can happen. But for Valhalla team, they might have named themselves after the place they're going.
Well, let's hope it's not going to be that simple, but let's quickly introduce our two teams here, starting off with Valhalla team. There's even gas still in the natural expansion, so that's kind of annoying. But the command center does go down. Naokin in a terrible spot right now. He's nearly down 100 supply. He's been forced into making vultures, and he doesn't... Like, how many tanks does Naokin have right now? He has the 3 here. He has 2 here, so that's 5 tanks. But here's another big drop coming in from 3S. That could be it. GG! Not about. Okay, here we go. Looks like the third base is going to go for Sugo as well. And when this goes, he is not going to be mining again. And that is going to be the end of that one. And it looks like this is going to be the way the cookie crumbles for Sugo as he taps out with GG.
There's like 2 control groups of Hydras coming in to reinforce.
Yeah, things are not looking good for our Protoss here right now. It looks like BT are going to take a quick 2-0 lead in this series. Unless Centaur can pull off a miracle, he's trying his best to do it. You can see a huge number of Hydras coming in the background. GG!
It's showtime!
Okay, so as you could see there, it was Valhalla team we're going into. Their previous results have been pretty good. They beat Clan Revolution, they beat MSJ, and they beat Ash as well. They've lost against some of the stronger teams, but they actually joined us in round 3, so they've not had too much of a chance to show us their full potential yet. They did have a little bit of a change around with the captains as well. SFCA took over from Irania as he departed due to a personal disagreement. I think it wasn't anything too bad, like they didn't have a massive fight or anything, but he decided to go separate ways, so SFCA took over. And let's introduce our second team here, which is going to be SouL.
Earlier I just wasn't paying attention to that, but the tanks are stasis in the back, and you know, he's killing a few of them, but there's just not enough units here. He's dropping down to 90 supply.
And GG! But this is way too many units with just one gateway to hold off. The Templar Archives is finished, but I think it's going to go down before he can even build a DT. And I mean, he's going to try and get another Dragoon out. He really should just cancel this, but he can't. GG! Stargate Carrier to deal with this. And this is just the result of this. Look at the train of Goliaths coming forward. There's still like 20 Goliaths in his natural as well. Just absolutely insane. GG! A little bit of a good engagement at the top. Mello jumping on top of the Sunken, so will he be able to take one down? No, he won't. GG! Bit of a stalemate. Here we go. The Zealots being sent in first. The Vultures actually out of position. This is going to allow the Zealots to get on top of the tanks. But is this going to be enough Protoss? I don't think it is. But more and more Zealots getting on top of absolutely everything. But there we go. It's too much. GG!
It's showtime!
Okay, so that was SouL. Now, SouL are one of the strongest teams in the league. They actually won round 3. They beat NetWars in the final, and they beat their arch nemesis, White Clan. Nemesis, yeah, in the round 3 semi-finals as well. They lost to them there last time, but they got their revenge in a big way, going 4-0 against them. They actually went undefeated in round 3, which is why you can see so many wins on their board. So they're going to be looking to continue that on. They want to get to the playoffs again. They want to win again. They have the team that can do it. They've got a lot of players from South America and Korea. And, I mean, overall, they're just a really good team. And Fuji, I know he's watching from his phone at the moment, so it's really cool to see them. But you can see that out of all the series overall, SouL Gaming have won 20 of them. That's since round 1. They've played quite a lot of series, so there's obviously a lot of chances for them to lose. But they're definitely one of the strongest teams in the league. But one thing you may not know about Valhalla team is they are another South American team combined with Koreans as well. So BT and SouL Gaming have very similar positions in terms of geographical location. Both of them sort of South American Korean hybrid clans, so it'll be kind of cool to see how Valhalla team can do to stand up against SouL here in our series. So let's actually have a look at what matches we've got coming up here, as there should be a couple of good ones. Now, starting us off, we're going to have a PvZ between SFCA and Blizz, or Bliss even. Bliss, one of the newer players for SouL. We're going to have a PvT between Ann and Scan. A good alliteration on their names, well, not alliteration, good rhyming, I guess, on the YouTube reaction. A TBT between Threes and Bjol on La Mancha, and a ZVP between Galaxy and Noob on Neo Medusa. So, if you
I'm actually real. Oh, sorry. I never know. Sorry. Wow. I'm actually dying over here. Wow.
Oh dear.
My face cannot breathe oxygen anymore. That's quite the struggle. Before you reveal your key matchup, just looking at those on paper, Valhalla team's a little bit of an enigma to me, but Ann and Scan maybe going to be my my match of the day, my key matchup.
I'm going to mark that as my key matchup as well, just because Scan's TVP, regardless of what the outcome is always really fun to watch. So I'm going to mark that as my key match, so I think we're in agreement there. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to design it so there's like a red and blue portion and they kind of intersect, and we're going to have one for rapid, one for kicks or whatever. That'll be kind of cool, but that's sort of on the table as something I need to make, so that'll be next time. But still, it should be a really cool matchup here. Just to quickly go through the players, I mean, there's not really too much to say about Bliss, just because we don't really know him. SFCA, also not really too much to say either. He hasn't had the best of luck so far. Did actually lose his only versus game against Machine in round 2, so not much to say there. Bliss, a brand new player to SouL. He's actually one of, I believe, Fuji will have to say this for sure, but if I remember rightly, he's Bjol's friend from real life, so kind of cool to see him here on the roster. He's not really the highest of levels, like he doesn't really appear in as many tournaments as Bjol or anything like that. But still, if you're a friend of Bjol, you're going to be a relatively strong player, I'd say. He is Zerg, so it should be a ZVP here as we get into map number 1, Fortress SE. Okay guys, so we're going into Fortress SE here, not Holy World. Not going to do all the drawing this time because we've done that already today, but basically should be fun here. It's going to be a ZVP. Now in terms of ZVP, we haven't had one of those yet on or in the STPL. We saw a PvP in game 1, so it's going to be cool to see how this is going to play out as we get into game number 1 between Valhalla team and SouL Gaming. It's SFCA versus Bliss. Okay, starting us off here in the 9 o'clock position, we do have the Purple Protoss, once again with a good alliteration, fighting for Valhalla team. It's their captain, it's SFCA.
And for some reason, StarCraft has turned off my mini-map. There we go. On the other side, playing for SouL from South Korea, it is a Zerg player, Bliss.
Now, we've seen a few ZVPs today, not as many as we saw on Friday, but we've definitely got a lot more experience casting this matchup, so hopefully we'll see some of those telltale signs coming in of how the game's going to go relatively shortly. There's nothing overly crazy on either side just yet, but obviously until you see what the Zerg does around 9 supply is when you kind of see the big difference. And we are going to see
Yeah.
an Overlord coming in, so it's an overpull, not going to be 9 pull speed or anything crazy like that, at least for now. He does have the option of going for that after an Overlord, but it's not as common.
Yeah, Overpool is like kind of your go-to ZVP build, at least nowadays. You're not really going to go for like a 4 pool or anything like that. And realistically, if you do try to go 12 hatch, you can get bullied. And, you know, Zerg wants to put themselves in that position. So I think the best course of option is just play it safe. And, I mean, we've seen this matchup a couple of times today. So just looking for either 3 to 5 hatch builds, unless you kill the first Corsair. Then you can see, man, that was the weird thing about the final game of our last series. It's like, you kill the first Corsair, you go Mutas, you get Fire Carapace, which is just a long, expensive upgrade to get. And you build 5 Mutas and lose them all to cannons.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one, but the potential, right? The potential is there.
So, I mean, looking at what's going on at the moment, SFCA is playing a little bit greedy, going for a Nexus before a cannon. I mean, we've actually already got 4 lings out on the map, so SFCA is going to have to be very careful keeping this alive, because the longer, or the longer he keeps the probe alive, the longer he knows there's no more mutas, no more lings coming in even, and he knows that he doesn't need too many cannons, but he's definitely going to have to get a cannon up soon. Because if we do see Bliss going for a lot of blings, maybe we could see some crazy shenanigans going on. But looks like we are going to have the gateway after a cannon back here. The probe does go down though, so Bliss is going to be feeling good about this. This obviously does give him the option to kind of do what he wants to do now. So we could see a third base. We could see speed coming in, maybe go for some crazy kind of ling all in. I mean, it is still only 1 cannon against 8 lings.
Yeah,
this is a bit dangerous.
I mean, that's not enough, right? Like the lings
Yeah.
just kill it. I'm
Wow.
sorry, I shouldn't have laughed there. It's just very surprising. You don't see. I really feel bad about laughing there, but the idea is you don't see games end like that. It's just so surprising because you look at a situation, and in 90% of all games, it's the game doesn't end there, right?
Yeah.
But we were talking about how you don't go for these early aggressive builds versus Protoss a lot because most of the time they can actually just kind of hold it. But wow, things just ended. I'm so surprised. I'm just like, I saw that, and in my brain I thought, okay, well he should die here, but I didn't actually think he was gonna die there because that was just really surprising for me. But damn, congratulations to Bliss.
Yeah, Bliss gets his debut win, and you know what? I think that was actually quicker than the TVP we saw between Serio and Hitmob, so maybe that's a new record, so well done to Bliss. Unfortunate for SFCA, but that's one of those moments where he was, like, I mean, just imagine, right? You submit the lineups, they submit the lineups a week before the game, he spends the week preparing, and all of a sudden you die because unfortunately, you wouldn't normally see the Zerg just kind of dive in like that. There's usually like a Zealot or something, or a second cannon, or maybe they're kind of worried about probes blocking, but Bliss just had no fear, and he just immediately popped in and killed him. I mean, there's not really too much else we can say.
Yeah, there's literally zero analysis there. We saw it, it's like, well, this thing beats this thing, and then it beats that thing, and you're like, all right, sick, we did it. So wow, that was we are really speed running our way through these series. And I guess we can actually just like get straight into our next one because I mean there just wasn't a whole lot of time. I feel like the game is still going somewhere, but it's not.
In some alternate universe, the game is still actually running. But you know what? We're about to get into our second game. It's going to be the game that we both classed as our key match. So looking forward to seeing how this one actually plays out. I'm just making sure we've got all of the things loaded that I'd normally do when we go into a break. But I don't want to force it to a break here. It's kind of not really worth it. But let's just actually quickly have a look at the map intro, and then that should be the only thing I need to change. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to this one the most. I've got the 2 players ready, so let's actually throw it on over to the player history screen. Now, we're going to have another brand new player here, another debut player for Valhalla team, it's actually Anne. So, interesting name. Not really seen a name like that before, so it's kind of cool to see exactly how he's going to do, because he's going to be up against kind of his namesake here in Scan. So, what do you take when you add SC to Anne? It's Scan. Wait, that's a really awful joke, oh my god. But Scan, I mean, he's one of the bosses of SouL Gaming. 15 for 2, an 88% win ratio, a 7 to 2 win rate against Protoss as well. I mean, when you look at the 2 Protoss he actually lost to as well, he lost to a Yaji, which was realistically a little bit of an upset, but Yaji is a very strong Protoss player on IRK, and he lost to the best. So it's not just a best, it was the best. Best, who is in the top, well, he was in the top, I don't want to spoil anything, he was in the ASL multiple seasons. I don't know if anyone hasn't seen that series yet, but I mean, he's just been in the ASL, he was a beast in Pro League, and he beat Scan. I mean, that was a sick game as well, all the way back in round 1, so I mean, let's just introduce our next map. Okay, so that takes us into game number 2 of this series. It's on Neo Chain Reaction. Not really too much to say about the map. We did see a TVP on this map earlier where I kind of went through everything. Of course, if you guys do ever want to see any of the previous games that you've missed, the VODs will go up on Twitch immediately after the broadcast and up on YouTube later that evening or the next morning. So you can always go and check that out. I need to sort of say about the YouTube a little bit more often. But yeah, just to answer Waste Me I Am Toxic, yes he did. White Clan is a clan that mined, best, shuttle, and one player who's called Zero, but I don't know if it is the actual Zero or just a namesake. They have actually, well, they've not all played, but Mind has played and Mest has played in the STPL. They played in round 1 against SouL Gaming, so hopefully we might get to see them again a little bit later, especially now SouL have leveled up as well, because when they first played, SouL were kind of just starting to make it as a team, and like Scan didn't really have the same practice as he does now, and it'll be kind of cool to see them go again. But we're going to be seeing BT versus SouL here. It's Anne versus Scan in game number 2 of today's STPL. Oh, and I haven't actually started the game. I'm a little bit too far behind myself, but this is fine. We'll just pretend there's like a timer going, the players are getting ready, they're all spamming like GG and START and whatever in chat. But here we go, starting us off here in the top, or in the middle right position. We do have the White Terran fighting for SouL. It's Scan.
And on the other side of the map, in the purple, playing for VT, it's Anne.
These names are gonna confuse the hell out of me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get used to those. I don't know if that's yeah, I don't know if that's kosher or not, but I promise I'll do my best.
It's one of those moments where you look at, I mean, Anne literally just got added to Valhalla team's roster the week before this game, so the probability of them actually matching with each other is so monumentally small, given how big SouL's roster is, and like how big BT's roster is as well, that it just, I swear there's some things that are just there to curse casters. It's like, you only ever get orange versus yellow on desert maps, no other map, just desert maps, it's always the same.
I like what Lucky Noob did. It's like, are you a fan of Anne or a Scan man? I can respect that. That takes some, like, you really gotta put the effort in. So anyway, to get into the game, this is going to be a TVP. Have we seen a TVP today? I
Yeah,
don't
we
think
saw
so.
Betoso versus. It was the first game.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, well
Betoso
that
versus
game
Dreamer. Yeah.
that game does not count. I mean, it does count, but
Yeah.
it doesn't count towards the. But I feel like this one's gonna look a lot different. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. Now, one thing I just want to point out about what Scan's doing, and Scan did this when I was hosting the Clash Royale as well. It doesn't matter what the map is, he will know where you can wall. And you can see he's walling with the depot and the barracks. That effectively stops any possible scouting coming in from Anne, and that will give Scan. I can't continue the alliteration. I've forgotten words, but you know what? We're gonna have the barracks coming up. All is looking good. We've got gateway gas into Cybernetics Core on the other side of the map. So, what else could you ask for?
Oh yeah, no, I'm very happy about the way that this
Oh my
game
god,
is
the move shot
transpiring.
on the probe.
Yeah, what? I thought only drones could do that.
The probe scan
So
as
good.
well. SCVs can,
Yeah.
but it's really, really difficult with SCVs. Oh, he
Ah,
gets it.
sniped him. Wrecked.
Now,
My thing is like you could actually just like repair that, but oh well, no.
well, the problem was he couldn't. He couldn't get it back through the wall. He tried to glitch it through, and he couldn't manage it, and the probe nearly killed it doing that. So that's one less SCV, and Scan's looking a little bit flustered.
Also, he's gonna lose that depot if he doesn't do something. That probe took off almost 100 HP off that depot. What? Okay.
Probes are OP,
probes,
man. That's it.
Yeah, they kill SCVs. They
They kill
almost kill
buildings.
depots.
They kill
Yeah.
siege tanks as well, as long as they're next to it. I mean, is there anything a probe can't kill?
It's crazy.
I mean, the important thing is here, and this is kind of... I've been in this situation, obviously I'm nowhere near as good as Scan is, but when you lose an SCV at the beginning to another worker, it just feels terrible. Like, it feels like the entire world is against you, because the one thing that shouldn't happen just happened, and this gives Anne a little bit of a... Oh my god, is he... Another probe kill! 2 SCVs killed by that probe. Oh well.
He was trying to go assassinate that Marine there too, but unfortunately the break point off of one probe hit isn't actually a thing for Dragoons. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Neo Chain Reaction is just like such a weird map to me. I have not figured out this map. I don't know what to expect, Kicks. For Para Ejemplo, for example, why is there that little tiny mineral patch by where the Marines are standing? Is that to help with the wall off?
Yeah, it's to help Protoss wall off. Just otherwise think about how... Oh wait, no, because Protoss would wall here.
Right, yeah.
I think you can wall this as Terran maybe with a depot and a barracks against Protoss.
No, it's wider than depot barracks.
Yeah, but diagonals are a little bit weird with those walls. If you think about...
I think even with the diagonals, Kicks, like I'm trying to help you out here, but
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. If it is that for that reason, then okay, I get that. I think the bigger feature is the ability to break through these temples on the walls on the sides. That makes it a little bit sort of like a rotated version of like chain reaction, or not.
Oh no, the mines!
Oh, no! Oh my goodness! Wait, did one of the mines blow up the other mine? Dude, he's trying to get through. Oh no, are you Bisu? Is he literally Bisu? Oh my god, he's Bisu.
He's at 350
put the barracks over the mine.
APM. This tank
Okay, he is actually at 350 APM. That's actually insane. Okay, all right, fear this guy. Holy cow. So the classic way to do this is just to put the building over the mine, and that way you can't snipe it with Dragoons when it pops up. But you're gonna have to give up maybe a little bit too much ground there. This is crazy what he is doing here. If he loses all of his Dragoons here, he 100% deserves to lose the game. But on the other side, if he's a Gosu and kills everything, then, you know, sick.
Yeah, I mean, Scan is in a dangerous position. He's got both of his tanks very, very wide open here. I mean, there's 2 mines in front of him, which are going to be the big kind of defense, but...
I think you even sack a Dragoon at this point. You put a full health Dragoon in the front, tank the mine, and then dive on the tanks below it. Because if you kill these tanks, That's huge.
Yeah, that's... I mean, Scan can't expand. That's one of the
Yeah.
most dangerous things. He's gone for a starport, got a dropship coming in, but they're 4 units, realistically, he needs at the front. Like, this is so many Dragoons he's got outside of his main. Now, he's going to be relying entirely on this drop to pull the Dragoons back, but with the way Anne's been playing, what's to stop him just pushing in right now?
I think you absolutely have to sack a Dragoon.
And there's an
to
OBS
pull
on the
mines
way.
in.
There's an OBS just halfway across the map now.
Oh no!
So...
Oh dude, once this OBS hits, like these are gonna have to be the strongest 4 vultures you've ever seen. But okay, I don't know why he dropped them off specifically there.
But mines,
maybe,
I think.
Yeah, I guess to put some extra mines in there. But anyway,
Oh,
here we
Anne.
go. The OBS is in. Where's my siege mode kicks?
There it is. It's at the bottom of the ramp. The vultures coming into the natural. A lot of probes go into the main even. 2 probes going down. The Anne with a great defense.
What is this?
He only loses
Dude.
3 probes. This man, he's the... I keep trying to go for it. There's 2...
Okay, we're gonna call this like player 1 and player 2 or something. I don't know, but these names are getting on me, my nerves. That was a sick hold. This guy's got Unreal APM. He's trying to do like micro tests, like it's a skill test. I think that's what they're called. It's like, can you hold on against this? And it's not something where you lose a lot, but it's like this is gonna test you. And it is. It absolutely is. Look at that. He's actually killing the SCV building the turret at the front to try to break up this ramp. This is so Gosu. Watch. It should be noted, it's not like this is a low ground main. It's an even ground main with high ground around it.
Yeah.
But if you can attack on the high ground portion, you put a Reaver up there, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Well, the scary thing is here is there's a Reaver coming in as well, so...
Yes.
By the time Scan pushes out of his base, this Reaver is going to be coming in the back. Now, oh my god, he actually pushes forward with a few of the tanks. Scan does pull back, manages to deal with one of the Dragoons, but Anne has still got a position here. I mean, just look at how methodically Scan is having a push.
Oh, and this sucks as a Terran player. He does have another command center, so it's not the end of the world. And actually, he could just, to use that... Wait, did he save the dropship? I think he did, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, the dropship...
Yeah, so just take the back base. That's actually, like, such a baller play to make. Just float your command center the other way. Obviously, you kind of pay for that later on because it is harder to hold that. But it's not the end of the world. And I think, in the end, I was a little bit less confident than Scan was in his ability to break out. He does. Successfully, but hey, there's still that Reaver.
Yeah, I mean, the Reaver's currently sat back. Looks like he was just pulling back his Dragoons to kind of escort it around. He knows he's got a starport, so there could be a Wraith involved here, but there's actually no defense against Reavers anywhere. There's nothing to stop Anne from just dropping on top of the tank either, or like all the tanks. But here we go. The shot actually coming in. Scan does go for a scan. He does manage to see that Anne has got the Robo Bay, but he doesn't have units back here to defend. There's no Wraith on the way or anything, and this is going to be a lot of dead SCVs if he's not careful.
Yeah, thankfully, if you run your SCVs directly away from the Reaver, then they stack on top of each other, and unless your Protoss opponent actually like targets the rear SCV, the Scarab will dud. So I kind of disagree with that a little bit. I think that it might have been a better idea to try to run a little bit further in, but then maybe you lose the shuttle to the Wraith. Either way, in the end, there's a vulture drop that's still going to work out very well.
Oh my god, no. The mines.
Oh, no. Not like this. Oh,
that wasn't too bad. That could have been worse.
It was still rough, but you are correct, Kicks. The game did not end instantly.
Oh, I think they're both Korean. Okay, that makes sense as to why I'd be talking to him in Korean.
What makes you think that, Kicks?
The fact he's talking to him in Korean and he's not like, huh? I don't understand what's going on.
No, those are the keys that you type when you mistype the English PP.
Oh, really?
I don't know if they are both Korean. If they are, then sick. And it's one of the kind of unique characteristics of Valhalla team.
Yeah.
They're like white light.
You mean SouL light?
Yeah. that one.
Yeah. I mean, close enough. It's all good. We got the Reaver still. The Reaver has been dropped off back at home, I think. Unless I don't think he did lose the Reaver, so not really sure where that ended up. Maybe he's got it back at home to defend. Ah, I cannot find the Reaver anywhere.
No, it's in the shuttle.
Oh,
wait,
he's
no,
got
it's not.
2 shuttles. That's why.
Oh, he has 2 shuttles. Okay.
Now it makes sense.
Dirty
I thought that was just an obs. Like, but here we go.
Imposter shuttle.
We got 5 factories now coming in for Scan, +1 attack on the way. He actually went to start a Science Facility before but cancelled it. But Scan, up to his old antics again, pushing with another dropship. And we've got the Warp Gate going down here for Ann. So Ann looks like he wants to sneak around and take a 3rd base.
The Warp Gate?
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Oh. Yeah, okay, sorry. I was like, this is not StarCraft 2 kicks, but you are correct. There's more warp gates than just that.
Oh, the Reaver coming into the main.
You gotta pick up, gotta get out before the Wraith catches it. Goliath's out, but he doesn't have Charon boosters.
Oh,
that
Wraith gets sniped.
That's a very good pick off, because now you can run back in and kill the Goliath with the Reavers.
Yeah, but the trouble is there's a triple Vulture drop in the main again.
Uh-oh.
But Ann just always seems to be ready for these, and Ann's probe count is it... Oh, no, this could be bad.
No.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, he has an observer there. That's kind of remarkable. That was a very, very good hold.
Yeah. And Ann could possibly be going for a double expand here. He's got a probe in the top left. That's taking the Nexus up here. And he's got a probe down into the bottom right now. This could just be for scouting for drops. Now, taking this this top left base could be a little bit problematic, especially against all of these drops. It's going to take him a very long time to get units up there to defend. But look at Scan. That Scan going down on both of those bases to see exactly what's going on.
Scan does have an extra command center as well, so it looks like he's looking to play the long game. Scan kills a lot of people by just going for a 2-base push. But obviously, because he was so far behind after having to break out of his base, that's not necessarily going to be as strong. He is on 5 facts as well. He has everything researched that he needs to out of them. And so now it's just time to hit macro mode. Building, he's finally getting vehicle weapons. So that was the super, vehicle weapons level 2, right? And that's going to be a huge benefit for him. So honestly, I think we're just sort of biding our time, and it's going to be a really cool, finally, longer game.
Yeah, there's not really going to be too much Scan can do to Ann for the moment. Ann is just going to be macroing up. Scan is obviously just going to be scanning around to see exactly where... Oh my god, there's actually triple shuttle going through. I don't know if he caught that with the scan, but if he did, this is going to... Oh no, this could be destined for doom though. There's a lot of... Oh, he's actually juggling what units are in what shuttle. That's really cool. But there we go, the Zealots actually being dropped off, a big carpet bomb of Zealots. The Reaver getting dropped off in the mineral line, getting a good number of SCVs even. The turret going down, the Reaver going down as well with all of the shuttles, so not the best trade. But Ann has the economy advantage. He's in a position where he has army control of the middle as well, so Ann is doing a good job keeping Scan back here.
Yeah, but he's not teching as quickly as Scan is. Like you gotta stop A, the Terran player from expanding again, and B, you gotta stop. Wait, where did that command center float to?
It's just next to the warp gate above his natural, so he's gonna be moving out to this bridge and then try and take the 3rd base that way.
Yeah,
a little bit safer.
So I think. Yeah, I think the way you want to fight this is by controlling this bridge area, stop the Terran from pushing out across there. But his army, in order to get up there, your army is way out of position. It's taken me some time to get used to chain reaction, honestly, because ideally you do want to stop the Terran from taking control of this bridge area because it gives him this northern expansion. But you can't do that unless you put your army way out of position, and then they just push straight across the map and siege you across that wall.
Yeah, and it looks like the score is wrong, so I'll need to sort that out in just a second. But just going back to this game, it is actually 1-0 in favor of SouL at the moment. So Bliss did take the first game. A little bit of a weird thing going on there, but shouldn't be too hard to fix.
Yeah, now look at it. So there's I think 100 minerals stacked. Is it 100 or 50? minerals that are stacked down here. Okay, it's 40 minerals that are stacked on top of each other down at the bottom left-hand corner next to the Protoss Temple.
Yeah.
And so you have to mine those out. So it's weird because you can't tell just by looking. Some minerals you have to mine for a certain amount of time in order to mine them out. Some minerals you have to make different trips, and other minerals you have to you either can't mine out or it's just like an indestructible. I don't know. It's really weird. But this one does take a bunch to mine out. It was mined out, so the probes transfer successfully, and now we've got 4 base versus 4 base.
Yeah.
Or 3 base versus 4 base. Right?
Yeah, but there's a lot of vultures going into this top left base, and this is the problem I mentioned a little bit earlier. He doesn't have any units up here to defend. There's going to be a lot of mines to block him off from this. Now, there is a storm drop going into the natural. He did storm drop in the main as well, got a good clump of SCVs there, but he doesn't get that much damage done. And this big push of vultures is going to be doing quite a lot. The cannons are not going to be able to defend him against this.
This is really cool because you're attacking in a way that your opponent does not expect you to. Terrible, terrible damage. It's going to kill off almost every single probe there. It's going to take a lot of time to rebuild, and you're all of a sudden you feel vulnerable because usually cannons are good enough to defend against vultures. Now he's going to have to storm vultures? What?
Yeah, not the best decision. Obviously, vultures can move out the storm pretty quickly. They do die fairly... I guess the reason why he's using Storm here is he's got a lot of Templar. He's going for that old Kingdom style where you just go for a lot of High Templar and a lot of Gateway units. He doesn't quite have his upgrades fully going yet, but you can just see the disruption that made, not just in the mining of Anne, but also in the macro there. His money suddenly spiked up tons. Now there's that, oh my god, this could be a really big Storm drop hidden over the natural. Look at the High Templar up there on the ledge.
Wait, how did I get... Oh my goodness. That's oh my goodness, that could actually be so sick.
Well, there goes another storm, which is not going to go off, but this could be a really, really sick... Yeah, there's a second shuttle, though, in the top top right. That could be going to this third base as well, and there's a droppable ledge on that as well, so this could be pretty sick.
Oh, he's just going to EMP this High Templar.
Aw.
Wait, does he not have EMPs? No, he doesn't!
Well, that's kind of funny.
8-kill High Templar.
Yeah, he's going back in. Oh, he actually gets the Goliath.
The second storm.
Oh my god, how many shots is that Goliath going to miss? Yeah. Oh, and there was actually a storm drop in the third as well. I don't think it got that many kills because Scan is really good at pulling away. But that's still things that are going wrong for Scan here.
This is a very weird style of PvT to play. Because, like, Storm is okay at breaking big tank clumps. I love all the mischance.
The DT.
But storm drops are not how you delay a Terran player as Protoss, at least usually, right? Obviously, that's the effect that they're having. But the problem is that, like, Terran likes to, like, sit back on 3 bases and just get their upgrades up. And so, if you're trying to storm drop them, I mean, they can just sit back and build more SCVs. It's not like that's going to damage their huge, gigantic, impossible to kill Terran army. Here we go! There are lots of storms. They're clumped up on the bridges. Yeah. Are we going to see crazy bridge storms? Oh my god!
Oh, and the SCVs are in that storm! And there was a big mine drag as well!
This is so crazy!
And Anne had...
Those storms...
Anne had High Templar at the third as well, so when the SCVs got there, he stormed again.
Now, that being said, we did just see a massive plummet in Protoss supply. So I think Scan's thinking, it's just time to go.
Yeah, but is this a mistake? He actually lost a lot of tanks. There's not that many units back at home, but there's a lot of Zealots with a couple of High Templar again.
It's 2-3 upgrades, or 3-2 upgrades for Terran though, so...
Yeah. Okay, that's...
Like... Yeah, that's just
oh
insane.
My god, he's losing all of his SCVs at his third base though. Scan's economy is really struggling. Most of Scan's supply even.
He thinks to put High Templar on those tiny little ledges.
That's
and
so
annoying.
Man.
He did it twice. Now, so mission right now, the only thing that matters is just don't die to this push. Just do everything you can. He did get stasis, so stasis is the ultimate way to hold here.
Yeah, he just needs to get those really, really massive stasis, and that could be a problem. Scan is taking a... Okay, yeah.
It's like whose mom has it going on, Kicks.
Stasis, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the High Templar is still alive in that top middle base, but you can see that Scan has split his army incredibly well here. That DT is still trying to break down the Selnaga Temple. Oh my god, he's actually gone panic DTs here out of this command center. Here we go. Oh my god, the stasis on the front tanks. Storms on the back as well. And he's breaking out of his main base.
What is happening here?
Anne's doing it.
DT busting. What? Man, Anne is the man. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, you were saying Stacy's mom's got it on. In this game, Anne has definitely got it going on. Just so many things going on all over the map. So many shuttles just with random High Templar in all over the place as well. I mean, a Wraith actually come up to the top middle to clean up that High Templar on the high ground. But the two tanks outside of Anne's base are going to go down to the two Zealots. Oh, and he's even storming the vessels. Like, that's how much he wants them dead.
I've never seen a player so potently weaponize like one specific unit in a matchup. Like, you know, they called, was it Fantasy, who was the Vulture terrorist?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, you know, he's just like, I'm going to take this one unit and do better with it than
Okay, another
anybody's
storm
ever
drop
done.
coming in.
Here we go. Nope, not yet.
He's deciding where to go. He knows the Wraith is going to be following him.
Well, he's just going to drop on the high ground here again.
Yeah.
Instant scan and the pull away. All right, so he picks up and he goes away. Full pull. But, oh, wait. Dude, this is the sick part. So he's going to have to float the barracks over there because he can't keep scanning. So you just run the shuttle up to the other... Oh no, oh my god. Ah,
what is he
doing?
doing?
Oh, just drop it. Let it storm, let it storm, let it storm. Oh, okay, alright. You had to go for it, but like, there was a moment there. There was a moment, Kicks.
Okay, well there's going to be another moment here because there's another High Templar in this shuttle. He's actually going to drop in the mineral line this time. Look how quick Scan is at pulling his SCVs away. Oh my god.
Second storm.
How did he even get that? That must have been like split-second energy.
Does the storm, does a Wraith survive a storm?
Apparently so.
I guess. Man, I think of those things as dying to like light breezes on a summer day or something.
I love how this DT finally broke down that temple and nearly ran into two mines but just about missed it. But there's a lot of observers going down. Scan is obviously at 3-3 now, which is, well, at least he should be. I didn't actually check. Let's have a look. But yeah, Scan's still at 3-2. I guess he can't really afford the gas for 3-3. I mean, Scan is mining out. His main is dry. His natural is dry. Well, nearly dry. And his third base is... I mean, I guess the one benefit Scan has had is he's not actually been able to mine properly because all of his SCVs keep getting pulled away. So he's got a lot more minerals in his bases than maybe you'd expect at this point. But Anne is going to take a fifth base. He's going to try and stop Scan from taking a fourth. Scan is still in a lot of trouble.
Man, what do you do if you're Scan here? You gotta start thinking about taking another base? Base taking as Terran is pretty hard if you can't keep your tanks alive. The tanks are all on siege, Kicks. There's storms everywhere.
Well, it's kind of lucky they're on siege because otherwise the storm would have done a lot more to them there. But Anne trying to push up to that third base, gonna get repelled once again. And Scan continues to hold.
Scan really weaponizing these EMPs quite heavily. If you're going up against a primarily High Templar Dragoon army, if you just EMP it, the Templar lose their storm, the Dragoons get one shot by tanks. Easy.
Now, one thing that we're kind of, well, at least I kind of neglected to think about is he's EMPing so many High Templar that all of a sudden these Arbiters, recall becomes a lot better. There's not any EMP to deal with the Arbiters anymore.
That's kind of interesting, Kicks. Also, I would say the other side effect is that because these storm drops have been going off the whole game, Scan's bases are lasting a lot longer than I expect.
Yeah.
Because they're just not getting mined out quite as quickly.
Okay.
But,
I was just gonna say scout them. Oh, okay. I'll let you go first, my man.
I was gonna say Scans. I thought he was going down to that southern base, and we've seen him kill cannons with vultures before. And I think he's gonna try to do it again.
Yeah, this is where things get a little bit hairy for Anne, because Anne doesn't really have anywhere too obvious to expand to. I mean, this is the last remaining base that Anne can safely take. Now, we are going to see an Arbiter attacking some vultures down here. We've actually got another shuttle full of zealots getting ready to go for another push, most likely somewhere else. Now, a mine just went off, but I didn't see where. Hopefully that wasn't a big mine that I missed, but Anne is still ahead in supply and securing this 5th base now, and Scan still cannot expand. Now he's sending over a command center to this top middle base, but this DT is going to see it coming in. Now, ironically, that DT spent ages killing that Templar, and I've just realized there's actually a gap on the top and bottom where there's a mineral that he mined out before. So that DT didn't need to kill the Temple at all. I guess it helps his unit movement later on. But Scan's taking a 4th base now, and what's the plan for Anne?
This recall is just insane. Yes, that is in fact Anne's plan. It is just going to be kind of the way that you pick the Terran apart. Scan's going to try to get this base up in the upper left, but while he does it, he loses his entire infrastructure. Like, Terran's not like Protoss. They don't build their, production facilities in a different base. They just lose it. So
and then they just die. Now, yeah, Scan is trying to split his army, but he's having trouble with it. I mean, a lot of the units getting caught up on each other, and Anna's taken out so many of these supply depots now, and it's just something that Scan can't afford to replenish.
Nice EMP there, so at least that's a pretty good way to start clearing this up. But, like, look, your depot farm's down. He's 130 out of 120.
Oh, he recalled another base as well at the same time. A lot of the units, a lot of the SCV is going to be going down at this 3rd base. The units have finally been cleared up in the main, but there's another storm.
I can't even believe these storms are too unreal. Kicks. A lot of idle zealots from that 2nd recall, so maybe want to put those guys back to work. But, yes, this is quite the devastation from Anne. Also, he's now 50 supply up, maybe 40 supply, whatever. But Scan has to do so much work to fix things, to put out all the fires.
Yeah.
And he has no production facilities. He has 4 factories.
Yeah, 4 factories. He's very, very close to being supply blocked again. His natural is 100% mined out. His 3rd base, the mineral's about halfway gone. His 4th base, obviously, this is kind of his refuge. Now, we've still got this bottom right base that could be possible for Scan to take, but in order to grab that, he's going to have to give up every single unit and every single position he has in the top left to do it. Now, Scan's actually sent some tanks in to defend, and he's going to try and split his army here. Now, whether or not this is going to work is going to come down to Anne's next few moments. And there's another shuttle waiting at the top of the map with a couple of High Templar in. But there's actually a vessel ready, so let's see if we can get that EMP off.
I mean, that's going to be very, very important.
Oh my god.
EMP.
He's going to send an Arbiter in first to bait the EMP. Or maybe just recall, depending on what's here. Oh, he recalled. Oh, I'm not so sure about this recall.
That's a nice storm.
Stormed into an Arbiter to death, though. Oh my god, these storms.
Oh my goodness.
But the 5th base of Anne is going down. Scan once again pushing in. And this is at, like, Anne is only mining off of 1 base if this base goes down. So this is a very, very tense game. But oh my god, all the SCVs in range of these High Templar.
Oh, he storms the exit path. Okay, well, I mean, look at that. You talk about Anne only mining off of 1 base. Scan is only mining off of 1 base, and it's so much worse for Scan because he also has no buildings to produce units either. Like, you look at the, if you're just looking at the total amount of production, I turned the production tab on for a second. Scan's not making any units. He can't actually do anything.
Yeah, Scan is basically in desperation mode now. He has to try and secure his bases. Anne is very, very low on minerals, so Anne is still going to need to be careful. This force from Scan is still very powerful. I mean, it's 3-2 mech. He still was unable to, like, buy 3-3. there's still that shuttle in the top left corner that could do so much damage and kind of finish off Scan, possibly. But unfortunately, I think he's... Oh no, he hasn't forgotten about it. Here we go, gonna drop on this high ground once again. Oh no, he's actually just gonna fly straight in. Oh no, the High Templar don't drop out!
Whoa! Man, Scan is he's in the bonus zone. He's in extra innings. He's getting a little bit of lucky help that he needs. And honestly, yeah, you can never count a 3-3 mech player out, or 3-2.
Oh my god, there's another two Arbos coming in here. Both of them have enough energy stasising one of the vessels. I think that might be the only vessel. Oh, but he's so... Oh no, there's the second one. The Goliath's gonna take down the Arbiter.
Yeah, but it's the Arbiter with no energy, so it matters a lot less. And I think, honestly, if you can just maybe recall on those last 3 factories, or honestly, at this point, Storm Drops are just money, because your opponent has none.
You're trading energy for SCVs, and if you don't have money, you can't get the SCVs. Now, it looks like the Arbiter going to go in for that main. As you said, there are some mines here. Oh, is the EMP? The EMP! But it doesn't matter, the recall was casted already, and the units get in from the base.
Stop this broken race. No, I'm just kidding. It's that's how the mechanic works. It just sucks when it looks like that. It's like, well, I guess you get in. I think this has to be like basically the nail in the coffin, right?
Well, and still doesn't have that much units to replenish here. Now, if Scan can trade efficiently, well, not trade, if Scan can dominate this army, maybe he can make something happen still.
Kicks and is doubling Scan's supply, okay? Alright.
Yeah, but there's a lot of probes left. I mean, thinking about the... Oh my god, these storms have been just absolutely stellar.
Nice try, Scan apologist.
Oh my god, dematrixing that one Goliath and it still has to run back because of the storm. This is the best use of High Templar and PvT I think we've had in the STPL so far, which is really, really cool. It's
yeah, by far
the pressure, like it's insane.
It's unreal. No, I've never seen Storm used in PvT quite that well before. And you know, for all you guys are just like, well, you know, this is STPL, it's an online league, it's not ASL, whatever. It's like, I mean, you ain't seeing this stuff in ASL. I'll put it that way. It's that goodness, right? This is the reason that you subscribe or follow or whatever it is that you do to support the STPL. This is it.
I mean, the final 2 factories of Scan are going to go down. He's building over and over again 2 Goliaths to try and kill this Arbiter. He knows if that Arbiter's here, things get a little bit harder, but the Goliath's killing the... He actually just stormed nothing. Like, he has so much energy, so many High Templars, he literally just stormed nothing. And Scan is just unable to build units now. He doesn't have any other factories. Oh, he's trying to build 3 factories in the middle of the map. But if you don't have tanks, how are you going to hold on to your final 2 bases? He has so many vessels and so many EMPs available that he could blanket this entire army. But without the tanks to kill it, what's it matter? And this one High Templar running away from 4 tanks.
I was watching that, I was like, well, that's not
there
gonna be a
goes
happy
2
High
of the
Templar.
EMPs. GG! Scan taps out and proves to be the man and takes down Scan in the... Now, you know what? I'm gonna kick myself because I'll wake up at like 3 AM. I'll just be like, oh my god, there's like all of these words that just fit in a row, and it would have been amazing. But you know what? It was a great game. That's all that matters.
That was... that was fantastic. Damn, that was pretty amazing. Gotta say, loved it. It was a long, action-packed game. It was basically the opposite of like 2 or 3 other games that we've had today. That was amazing. I love it. Yeah, more of that, please. It sucks to see Scan lose because I mean I hang out with that guy all the time. He's super good. Bilingual, bridges the gap between the Korean and English language communities.
Yep.
And he had only ever lost 4 games in STPL up until that point. But wow, the Storm Drops, insanity.
I think it was actually only 2, so that goes to show how good Scan is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break just to give our voices a chance to recover. It'll be like a minute long or something, just while I load up the next replay. And we'll be back with game number 3 between BT and SouL and a fixed results panel. So see you guys in just a sec. Okay guys, welcome back to the STPL. We just saw a really sick game between Anne and Scan, with Anne taking the win and bringing us 1-1 in this series between SouL and BT. We're going to be heading into our third game. Wow, my brain is just literally falling apart now. But let's quickly introduce the players, then we'll introduce our teams. There were so many storms, I believe they may have actually hit me in the head or something, I don't know. But first player we're going to see here is going to be Threes, a really strong, I believe, Korean Terran, fighting for Valhalla team. He's actually 1-1 against Terran. He lost to Yes Man and beat Nyoken, so a really, really good Terran in TBT. And his opponent for SouL is going to be STPL. You may have seen him recently in the ASL. You may have seen him in one of the highlight videos recently where he actually lost his only TBT in the STPL to Medinho on Athena 2. So STPL is actually going to have to prove himself here in the TBT matchup, as that's something he's not been able to do as of yet. As we get into our third map of today, it's going to be La Mancha. Okay, so we went through this map a little bit earlier, so we won't do all the drawing and stuff, but this is a cool map for TBT. There was historically some really great TBTs on this map in Pro League. There's been some really cool TBTs on this map in Move Pro League Season 1 as well, so looking forward to getting into this. It's a TBT, obviously every single space on the map matters, so let's not waste any time just in case this is a long one, and let's get into game number 3. It's between STPL and Threes here on La Mancha. Okay, starting us off here in the top right-hand position, here on La Mancha, we do have the yellow Terran fighting for SouL. It's STPL.
That's right, and his opponent on the opposite side of the map, playing for Valhalla team in the orange, is Threes. And man, Kicks, if I could do one thing for the rest of my life, it would be to cast mirror matchups with orange versus yellow
On a desert map. Yeah, I told you
on
earlier,
a desert
didn't
tile
I?
set.
At least it's not PvP, because orange versus yellow, when it's Terran, you can see it on the units, whereas when it's Dragoon versus Dragoon, it's like, what am I even looking at?
Or Archons.
Yeah, Archons are bad for that as well. You know, the funny thing is, I'm going to admit a really embarrassing thing here, but I did not know the Archons had like a coloured thing spinning around them. I'd never noticed that before. I feel like when I found that out when Remastered came out, and people were like, well, how am I meant to tell the difference between the Archons? And they were like, look at the coloured orb things. And I'm like, huh? What? What are you talking about? And then, yeah, I looked, and wow, that blew my mind. I'd been playing the game for 8 years, and I still learned something new. And it was something really obvious as well. I don't know how I didn't notice it before, because I went back to look at an old PvP from like Pro League. I was watching Bisu versus someone on Electric Circuit, and I noticed it immediately. I'm like, huh, how didn't I see this before? I feel really stupid now.
I found that out by casting a orange versus yellow PvP, and I was just like, well, I just had to look for anything that could tell me which units are which. It's so crazy. Excuse me, but you're right. It should be a little bit easier this time around. So hey, how about those 14 CCs, or at least one of them from Threes? I think Bill is one of the best amateur players that the world has ever seen. So he is very, very good. And I think maybe you just gotta go for it. It does mean that you can die a little bit more quickly, but it's a 4-player map, and when you spawn, you know, I mean, he doesn't know his cross positions right now, but this is basically the best possible position for him to go for this.
TBT and 14cc is a kind of a weird thing. Now, To explain it a little bit, obviously people who know me and have known me for a very long time know that TVT is actually my favorite matchup to watch. I've probably seen most of the TVTs broadcast on Pro League as well. And one thing that 14cc always has in TVT is the only real weakness is you die to a proxy Rax, but proxy Raxes are so unbelievably rare because they're so easy to defend if you don't go for 14cc that to me sometimes it feels like why wouldn't I just do this all the time? Now obviously when you're on ladder it's a little bit different because Terran players are more likely to go for BBS because a lot of the Terrans don't want to play TVT. But when you're at the pro level or the amateur level, it's very rare you'll see a BBS, so there's kind of no real reason not to do a 14cc at the end of the day because you just get such an overwhelming benefit.
I mean, you get that overwhelming benefit until you just like straight up die. So
yeah,
you're right. Most of the
hard
time
to
you're
die,
not
though.
going to.
Yeah,
You're right.
It's one of those funny things because even though we've got Factory First coming in from Biola, I mean one of the builds you can do against this is to go Siege first. But I imagine we're going to see Mines and Vultures. That's exactly what we're seeing. Biola playing 100% standard for the modern meta, and this just gives threes a really, really good advantage early on.
Yeah, I would say I see a lot of Terran players, or some Terran players rather, proxy their barracks, because it's not like it's an actual proxy, but it does mean that if your opponent is going 14cc, then you have the opportunity to punish, right? So that's something that you can do. It's not really a big risk to do it, but it does mean that you have the opportunity to punish. The only weird thing is that if your opponent's not going in for anything bad, then they can build a bunch of Marines while you can't because your barracks is proxied, and then they can push across the map and maybe do a little bit of damage. But it's just not that big a deal, and it does stop this 14cc. I don't know, but anyways, threes has a little bit of an advantage here.
Now, the other kind of crazy thing about TVT when it comes to 14cc is even though Bjol went for a factory expand, look who gets the 3 factories first. It's threes. Threes is suddenly going to have a huge amount of production coming in, and he's actually going for speed first, knowing that his opponent was likely to go to mines. This could actually spiral out of control pretty quickly for Bjol. Bjol is going to be going for his 3rd factory now. But yes, Bjol had the constant production coming out of the 1st factory, but that's only amounted to about 5 vultures. That's 2 production rounds from threes. So as a matter of fact, I think there's only 3 vultures. So when speed kicks in, we could see a very powerful counterattack coming in.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good point. Although with the mine set up the way that it is, it probably makes it a little bit more difficult there.
Yeah,
so
you know it's coming.
Also,
it's just whether or not you can stop it. You know, Bjol's going to try and do that with a wall. So.
My favorite thing is like for spider mines. It's actually impossible to tell the difference between 2 spider mines. Actually, I mean they're all Bjols right now, but they won't be forever.
It is possible to tell. This is one of those other things that when you won't see it, and then when you finally do, you never stop seeing it. But when you look at those spider mines, you can actually just see a little yellow outline. It's not very big, but it really does stick out when you know it's there. So that's how you tell.
It's on an orange-yellow tile set, Kicks.
I'm sorry, I guess I've just seen too many TVTs, and I've played so many TVTs as well, I just kind of know it's there, and I can't help but look at it anymore. It's one of those things like that Archon thing, I never noticed it before, and then when I did, I was like, huh, oh wow, this is really obvious, and I guess it isn't.
Wow. I have very little to say about that. I'm just like, oh wow, that's so cool, awesome, wow, thanks Kicks. I'm glad I know that. I'm just gonna complain about it for the rest of the game. But, we haven't really seen too much of a divergence. I would say that probably something along the lines of not necessarily. I mean, this is like big factory play on both sides, obviously. But I think if you're going to sort of have this gentleman's agreement that you're just going to play straight up, getting an early starport can really start to kind of swing things around for you. And you can actually see that Bjol is doing that. If you start to drop, that's one way to get that early harass in. And you can also get a Wraith to push back, or Goliath, or whatever you need. I actually do really like Wraiths because it makes it so much easier to keep track of enemy vultures,
Yep.
and it's harder to set up siege tanks, siege lines, because they just can't do it.
Yeah, it forces Goliaths, and early on in the game when you're still on 2 gas, you realistically, especially off of the back of a vulture opening as well, you want to be building as many tanks as humanly possible to catch yourself back up. Now, the good thing for Threes is he knows there was only a single tank with this vulture army, and he knows that Bjorn has kind of been using his production to try and keep up with him in the vulture war, so all of a sudden a few extra Goliaths won't matter too much. And a big divergence in builds we saw is Threes took a lot earlier of an armory. Now, that obviously does give him access to earlier +1 if he wants to go for it, but also it gives him access to those Goliaths. But this is a lot
Alright,
of,
so we're taking a little bit of a...
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot of vultures here for Bjorn, so Threes is actually going to have to be careful.
And he's going to lay mines to kind of flank these vultures. Not that the mines themselves flank, but at least they give the vision. Wait, can he actually... Oh my goodness, look at this high ground control that Bill's mines are giving him.
Yeah.
Or that, yeah, Threes... Like, he's got vultures out on the map, but he has nothing else. It's almost impossible for him to push out with any tanks in a meaningful way.
Yeah, this looks a lot like how you would see games go on New Sniper Ridge. Like, if one player gets oh my god, this is actually a good move though, but he doesn't actually have any mines on these tanks to make use of, any mines on the vultures to really get those kills. But just imagine if it had got 4 or 5 mines off there, killed the 3 tanks of Bjorn, all of a sudden Threes is in a fantastic spot. But Threes has really been forced into a position that's not really helping him. It doesn't secure him another base. He's just kind of awkwardly got his tanks out in the middle.
Yeah, it secures his 3rd base.
The tank on the left does, but I'm talking about the tanks in the middle. Like, the tanks,
okay.
tanks in the middle aren't really doing anything.
No, you are correct. I mean, yeah, no, you're correct. The tanks in the middle are kind of... I mean, they're securing the high ground on that ridge, right?
Yeah, that's the important thing. They do stop, obviously, Bjorn from getting there. Now, Breeze is slowly falling further and further behind in supply now, and he's going to be up against 5 factories with that starport. He's got 5 factories of his... Oh, he's actually got 6 factories of his own, so this should catch up fairly soon. But Bjorn's had his 3rd base mining for quite a little bit now. It did land just a second ago, and he's got his 3rd gas coming. So Bjorn is in a really, really good position.
Bjorn's in a great spot, and I think the biggest thing to watch right now is not necessarily how they move their armies, but just how they make their armies. You're talking about how Threes is falling further and further behind. It's not even because he's not doing something right. It's because Bjorn's macro is just so insane. He's just always firing. I actually like to kind of click on his factories to see when he does his macro cycle, because it's just so instant. Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna leave my...
Thing of beauty.
He's missing one of his tanks. That's a little bit of a mistake there, but... not everyone's perfect, you know. Not everyone can be Flash when it comes to macro.
I'm talking about how good he is, and he's like, well, he did this one single thing wrong. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but look at the thing he's doing while he's doing this. So he's pushing in with a dropship into the natural. There's absolutely no defense back here for Threes. Threes has skipped into kind of more tanks and more Goliaths now. So all of a sudden, these vulture run-bys, these big vulture plays, they're going to start to do a lot of damage.
They really are. I mean, what do you do at this point? How do you stop so many of them from just getting in and shutting everything down? Like, you can actually just run vultures straight into the 3rd for and there's not really, I mean, too much to stop that. Let's just keep an eye on that. Oh, missed on the scan, doesn't catch Bjorn's vultures.
Yeah, there's so many scans going off. This is one of the funniest things about TVT that probably only I like. When you get to like 30 minutes into the game, and especially in like Pro League TVTs back in the day, especially like if you're looking at like Fantasy versus Flash or Firebat Hero versus Flash or something, like every 2 seconds there's a scan. Like, every 2 seconds, all you hear is the scan noise for the rest of the game. Like, I don't know how they're so on top of their scans, but it's so unbelievably important just to figure out where you can move forward, where your enemy's army is, and where you can try and chip away, because TBT is just 100% about positioning. And you can see an example of this now with Bjorn.
Yeah, with Bjorn right now, it's all about can you keep your tanks and vultures, I guess, in good spots, because it's hard to move them around without kind of getting separated. So for Bjorn, what is he doing right now? He's trying to get his tank move on, but he's unsieged, whereas his opponent is sieged on the high ground. So how do you break this? You run your vultures up.
Yeah.
But actually, threes might have a little bit of a better concave. It actually looks like an immediate target fire down on the tanks means that Bjorn breaks this almost effortlessly because threes just didn't have the tanks in position where he needed them.
Yeah, this is the big mistake that threes just made. Look at how many tanks are just below that high ground. If he had those extra 4 tanks there, and he target fired properly, that's a lot of dead tanks from Bjorn there, even on upgrades. And I mean, threes is just way too close to this high ground here, and these vultures alone are just way too much for threes to deal with. He's got no army!
Wow. Okay, that's it. GG3's taps out and Bjorn. Man, I thought that looked a little bit closer, but as soon as you don't have your tanks right where you need them, Bjorn is just gonna collapse on that. Wow. And I guess that's gonna put SouL up 2-1.
Yeah.
In their series.
Yeah, it's just while I load up the next replay and everything, just to kind of go through what happened there. It wasn't so much that Bjorn was playing better than threes was, but it wasn't that threes was playing badly. It's just that Bjorn at every second managed to get a little bit more efficiency out of all of his units, and he had a better position on the map. Like, the amount of space that Bjorn was controlling, not only with his mines, not only with the tanks on the high ground, but also just how often he was moving his vultures back and forth and everything, just to make sure there was nothing moving through the map from threes, meant that whenever threes tried to do anything, whenever he tried to break through anywhere, there was just units there already to defend. And that was what slowly but surely built up and gave Bjorn that incredible supply lead. I mean, threes was ahead in factory count, so without playing smart, he was not going to be able to get that supply lead, even with really, really good macro.
I concur, Kix. I've also just now joined the next replay to get into it. I guess this one's going to be on Medusa. I don't remember who's playing it, though.
Yeah, so I will introduce the players now for you, and also for the audience watching back at home, even though I'm at home as well. That sounded easy. But let's actually show our players off. I will introduce our 4th map of today. As we have a look here, we will be seeing that it's going to be Galaxy for Valhalla team to start us off here. Now, Galaxy, another player who's done relatively well for VT. He's actually on a 42% win rate. He's actually 3 for 3 against Protoss, so he's looking okay. He beat Sugo. He lost a future TT1, and I don't know how to say that guy's name on white. If you could maybe help me out. But he beat Amputee and Radley as well.
Hey, beating Radley, nothing to shake a stick at. Sure, there. And losses to strong players, nothing to be ashamed of there.
Yeah.
I think my thing is, like, as long as if you were a pro player back in the day in like the Kespa era, you had a 50% win rate, then you were god. You were so good.
Yeah.
But let's sort of flip the page here a little bit and get over to Noob, because like oh my goodness, this guy is just.
Yeah, I mean.
I can't even.
He's insane.
I can't even. This guy is actually the best. Or one of the best, like Noob, Famasi, and then of course all the Net Wars guys just put up some of the sickest stats you could ever ask for.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the table for the top 10, you'll see that Noob and Scan until today both had 15 for 2. They're in the top 5th and 6th position. Well, I guess they're tied in 5th technically. Scan obviously just won his previous game. That's not been out of the database as of yet.
No,
So he's...
Scan lost.
Oh yeah, Scan lost even. Sorry. Wow. You know what? That's so rare that I just don't even think to say that. My brain just kind of said what I thought would have happened, because that's what always happens. Scan just wins, right?
Yeah, but no, not the case. So Scan falls further down, and now Noob, with this win, could actually tie Terror above him for 4th place.
Yeah, so let's quickly introduce our map once again as we get into game number 4. Okay guys, so as you saw there, we are going to be heading into Neo Medusa now. Protoss have won both of our games here so far. Can Noob continue that tradition, or is Galaxy going to be able to take it back here and get a win on the board for Zerg, and a win for his team, which would take us to the ace match if he can manage it against one of the strongest players in the STPL. Let's find out as we get into game number 4. It's SouL Noob versus Valhalla Team's Galaxy. Okay, now starting us off here in the top left position, we do have the orange Protoss fighting for SouL. It's Noob.
And in the bottom left-hand corner in the peach color, this is Galaxy. We're playing Caster Chicken here, Kicks.
Sorry, I was just trying to fix something in the overlay. I realized I didn't actually report the previous game, so I was just quickly fixing that without saying anything, and, well, now everyone knows.
I'm a bad co-caster. Sorry I couldn't reach out and save you. I'm not a superhero, Kicks.
You're not a superhero like Chat, who did save you on Holy World, so...
Oh yeah, they totally got me there. Thanks, Chat. Too bad they couldn't come save you.
Oh, and I guess if we were playing, you lost. Just saying.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe. But we weren't, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, cool. Well, it's going to be a ZVP. We've seen a lot of ZVP recently. This is going to be our second ZVP today, I believe. Wait, what was the matchup here before? It was ZVP. It was Dentog versus Dragon, and Dentog did actually get taken down. That was a relatively long game. I mean, Dentog actually got contained quite early by Dragon, and it just kind of spiraled out of control from there. So, not sure if we're going to see that this time. Hopefully, we'll have a little bit more of a closer game here. But obviously, it's still undecided on exactly what's going to happen.
Yes. That's because it's the beginning of the game, Kicks.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we do see things that decide what is going to happen at the beginning of a game, but not this time. Although we are going to see 9 pool speed, which is maybe a little bit refreshing.
Yeah, it's against a Forge Fast Expand though, so it's not going to be anything... Well, I say it's not going to be anything too crazy. We should see a couple of cannons come down, but...
I would hope so. This is the
Nexus before cannons.
Nexus.
Wow, that cannon
Man,
is really far back.
These little Zerglings are gonna... Yeah, wow, that is actually very far back. I mean, it's not too far back, so far back that it won't protect the Forge, but... Oh, second cannon. All right, you go Nexus first, or Nexus before cannons. You're gonna get a couple. All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the immediate...
Oh wow, one hatch lair.
What?
I've seen this before. you go one hatch layer into a second hatchery. Now, obviously you've got multiple options. You can go for lurkers. Now, thinking about the map we're on, lurkers here would be a very good choice. You can get up the, or you can bring down the temples, and it's very unlikely that Noob is going to scout for this, because, I mean, who realistically opens lurkers on Neo Medusa? This is going to be the important moment.
Alright, now can he catch the probe? Denying scouting is absolutely essential when you're doing something like this. I agree. Lurker builds, are going to be really, really good here because you can get behind the mineral line. And yeah, there it is. This is actually really sick. But he has to deny this probe. And so one of the things is you can't let the probe get within vision range of the minerals behind it. Otherwise, it'll drill through your Zerglings. And oh my gosh, he's going to get in. He's going to get in and see the hatchery timing. But he can still block the probe from getting into the main if he's careful. Yeah,
this is probably one of the most important moments in any of our games so far. Obviously, we had a lot of decisive moments.
Oh, he pulled the drone to make it look like he wants to build a third hatchery there. But I don't think he actually does.
Probably his Galaxy just lost to an Overlord somewhere. I think it died to one of the cannons.
He's gonna let the probe in.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, he gets it! Right at the last second.
Now, the important thing is, Noob saw the hatchery timing. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's anything too crazy, but he didn't see a large swell of Zerglings. He knows there's not that many Lings. There's not really going to be that many options that Galaxy has off of one hatchery layer, so what is Noob's option going to be here? Is he going to go straight into a Robo? He's actually going for Stargate first.
It's Stargate first, which is really, really unhelpful, but if he can get the scouting information in time to throw cannons up, then maybe it's not a total tragedy. But man, once these temples go down, whoo-wee, that is just going to be... Terror Town. Noob is, by far the favorite player on paper, I feel. Just because he's so good just against almost anyone. But yeah, here we go.
I mean, with the Robo coming in, this makes things a little bit better. Now, this probe, he needs to hide the Hydralisks. If this probe sees the Hydralisks, he's going to know what's up. And he
did.
Okay, he definitely saw it.
Now, he has to also see them morphing to... Okay, well, he's going to see this Hydra as well. Why do you remove the block on your front door? What?
I think he was going to try and stop the probe further up, but he's going to see the lair, he's going to see the Hydra den, and we should see a scramble to get cannons behind this mineral line, because that is going to be the big problem here. And if he can do that, I think this could be a little bit one-sided in Noob's favor, but he's got to survive this initial push from the lurkers.
Well, he is getting another.
Oh my god, he's gonna scout them. Oh my god. Galaxy just, like, immediately borrowed those lurkers because he knew that probe was coming. That's crazy. These two cannons at the back though, oh my god, he's actually adding 3 cannons here. Noob is completely cottoned on to what's going on.
Yeah, no, this is the Screw You specifically build that we're going for right here. This is when you instead of getting Hydra speed, you get drop, and then you drop past the cannons, and you just say, "No, screw you." That would be the biggest brain play I would have ever seen.
Yeah, they call Calm Brain Zerg, but seriously, if he did that, that would be sick. One play he did do there, which was amazing, was he didn't attack the temples until the Corsair ran away. And I mean,
okay, I can see that. That's actually really impressive.
That was cool. I mean, there is a Zealot now. He's going to hear and see that the temples are going to go down. Zealots make it a little bit harder to push forward as well. I mean, at the very least, if he can't kill Noob, he can get a kind of contain going on at the front. That's something that he can do to maybe come out of this, but with +1 air attack coming in, another cannon going down on the low ground, and Galaxy still doesn't have a third hatchery.
Well, I mean, what you see is what you get. What?
I was just thinking, if he builds enough Hydras, maybe he can bust the cannons.
There's a Reaver out, though. So...
Where's the Reaver?
It's by the Natural.
Oh, okay. Wow, there's actually only 3 cannons at the Natural.
Yeah, well, he lost the Lurker for free, so, you know.
Yeah.
This is not... Well, here we go, Kix. It's do or die, and it's going to be one of those. So
yeah, let's figure out which one it's going to be as we see the Zealots pushing into the Hydras, just kind of buffering for these cannons. The Hydra's trying to get on top of the cannons, not able to do the damage they need to do, and the Lurkers on the high ground going to be forced back.
Okay, well, kicks.
This is the kind of moment where you see the Zerg like run back with their tail between their legs, like, huh, well that didn't work, what do I do? And it looks like it's going to be a third hatchery for Galaxy as he gets ready to try and take us into a longer game.
Yeah, it is going to be a longer game. Well, I mean, a game that is longer than the 6 minutes we're used to.
Yep.
Excuse me. The siege at the front door is good. I really like that. The problem is that we're going to see...
+1, I think.
I mean, that would actually be really good. He's still going to get +1 air weapons, and the Reaver means that I don't think he's actually going to get a kill on any of these buildings.
No. But there's more Hydras coming in. He does have an Observer here to snipe any possible obs too, so...
Oh, he can snipe the Corsairs. He can just walk the Hydras underneath the Corsairs and kill both of them. But,
trouble is he doesn't know they're there, yeah.
Yeah.
If he does, then we've possibly got to think about, I mean, has this guy got something going on here? Like, was he running a program he shouldn't have been in the background or something? Like that? That would be a little bit too dodgy. Oh, there's going to be a Reaver drop coming into the main here. The Hydras, though. Hydras in the middle of the map, moving across. The Lurker did actually see the Reaver. Well, he didn't see the Reaver, but he saw the shuttle leave the base. So, if he can intercept the shuttle, that's an
he's just a little bit too slow. It's a speed shuttle. So he doesn't make it there in time. He does have Hydras in the natural. Excuse me, but there's nothing to defend. Or in the main, but there's nothing to defend the back hatchery. So yeah, that could just straight up die. Oh no,
my god!
He's gonna run right over the Hydras! They're trying to move past, trying to snipe it. Sacks one into the first Scarab. That's really good. He's gonna kill it. No! The perfect pickup, Noob, but what a god! Saves the Reaver on like 2 HP.
Oh, and he saves the Hydras by morphing them. That's actually really good. Trouble is, the eggs are gonna go down. He's gonna lose his money.
Oh, and he retargeted the Reaver, but it had regened just enough shields to stay alive.
Noob is too good. You can see why he's got the 15-2 win ratio. 88%. Man, Noob is so good.
He's too good for school.
Yeah. Now, one stat I'd really like, or one thing I really want to do if I can, is at some point I just want to get a list of all the previous results of all the haze and just put them into a database, because I'd love to see how certain players did. Obviously there were so many hay tournaments that it's like, and I know Noob did really well in a good number of them as well, so it's not like Noob is a one-trick pony. It's not like he's just stomping on people in the STPL and never done anything else. He's won haze. He's done good. He also beat, oh no, it was YSC that beat Scan in the Christmas Cup. I get them too confused a lot. Okay, +1 finished. +2 is on the way for these Zealots. But this... wait, oh, there's 2 Reavers. Never mind. I was going to say, could this break? But no. Reavers are too strong.
Yeah, no, Reavers are actually just massive. And I think what we're kind of leading up to is the inevitable conclusion of this game where we say, look, like, what are you going to do, right? Are you going to try to bust here, or are you just not going to do anything? He's going to move forward. He's going to snipe a Reaver instantly.
But
can he actually break through? There's a second Reaver here that returned with the shuttle, and I don't think there's any way to kill that.
While he did that, and I missed that, it's because I was looking at Galaxy's Natural. All of the drones went down to a double Reaver drop, so there's 2 more Reavers on this map.
Oh no.
And that's just getting out of hand. And what I really would like to see, and I'm not sure if we're going to see it here, is, you mentioned it before, but just going drop and just dropping in the main, because Reavers have really bad mobility. So if you can drop in the main, maybe you can make something happen. But it looks like Galaxy wants to push in and try and end it here. I don't think he has the right units for it, but he's gonna go for it. The pylon goes down. That's all unpowered, and he gets the Reaver.
I mean, that's fine, but like, there's plenty more where that came from. There's Reavers. Could be Storm coming up. Like, what do you do?
what you use to kill the
Oh,
drones?
he just now noticed.
Yeah. River.
Yeah, the river flows in you. There it is.
G?
I love that he just now, or just noticed then, he's like, wait a second, I have nothing.
I think my
Well, there it is.
yeah, that's the end of the series. I mean, Noob takes a really well played game against Galaxy, gets a perfect defense against the cheese that he just somehow scouted, which is really cool for him. But I mean, a relatively good series overall, I'd say.
Oh yeah, for sure. That one game in the middle between was it Scan and Ann. Wow, that was by far the best game of the day. Very, very excited to watch that. Yeah, that's a really good series. You guys are truly privileged. And the way that you can be thankful for your privilege is by following or subscribing up at the top of the channel, and following Kix and I on Twitter at KixSD and Rapid Casting. Go do that now. If you don't have a Twitter account, make one just to follow us.
Yeah.
And then you can reply and fave every single thing that I tweet. I had a guy do that today. He followed me, and he faved every single one of my tweets the second that I tweeted it. And I was like, like, you know, I just didn't really feel like we were at that point in our relationship, Kix. But you guys can also be that guy, and I'll feel a little bit better about it because you're part of the STPL family.
Yeah, so let's quickly go through the results. We started off with a win for Bliss against SFCA, where 8 Lings killed 1 cannon and won the game. Then we saw Scan versus Ann, where I became a fan of Ann because he really mixed things up in the pan by taking down Scan on Neo Chain Reaction in a really cool PvT. And then we saw Buell versus Threes on La Mancha. Buell won a really positional and really well played TVT. And then Noob just took down Galaxy there in the final game of the series.
Yeah, so congratulations to SouL. The strongest stronger. SouL, of course, one of the best teams in STPL. So congratulations to them for a very strong win. Bliss with his debut win. Buell and Noob kind of the closers for SouL, cleaning it up in the end.
Okay, well, huge thank you to everybody who's tuned in. If you have missed any of the games, or you want to see any of the previous rounds games as well, there's over 400, I think, games now that have been played in the past 9 months for the STPL. They are all up on the STPL YouTube. I will post the links so you can find them in case you want to look at them. There's some really, really good games back there. Obviously, the highlights will start to flow on there soon as well. So, huge thank you to everyone who tuned in. Huge thank you to the players. Very big thank you as well. The biggest to Rapid for casting with me at such a late hour. And hopefully you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. See you guys on Wednesday.